Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and today's video is called The Top 3 Best Voice over IP Service Providers of 2020. Again, this is going to be my full in-depth review, pros and cons of the top 3 best voice over IP service providers of 2020 for your business. Now, for those of you who have frequented my channel or, have just, it might be your first time seeing me and you've been through a handful of my videos, you know that here at Rich Technology Group, we represent every single voice over IP service provider for business in the United States, as well as every single phone and internet service provider in the United States. That being said, naturally, we get calls from all over the United States for people looking for small business phone systems, and I have helped and hooked up very, very many people with many different service providers out there. So this video is going to be my in-depth review of who each one of these top 3 service providers are, from number 3 all the way up to number 1, pros and cons, and just things that you need to be aware of when you're looking at these providers by way of function, feature, pricing, and long-term customer service and support. Before we jump right into this, I want you guys to know that one of our most popular videos on our channel is another video that we did last year in 2019 called The Top 3 Best Voice over IP Service Providers of 2019. So this video is a follow-up of that video. I'm going to reference the video that I just mentioned in the tag if you want to see last year's lineup, as well as in the description. But let's jump right in to the top 3 best voice over IP service providers for business of 2019. So, number 3, RingCentral. RingCentral is founded in 1999. They're headquartered out of Belmont, California. RingCentral uses the typical per user, per extension schematic. So, if you've got, 5 users or 5 employees that need separate phones and voicemail boxes, you would pay, this much per month per person or per extension. So they use that typical schematic, which is popular among most of the providers these days. Let's see here. Pricing with RingCentral starts around approximately $29.99 per month per extension, but it can vary depending on what other add-ons and things like that you may want to add to your service. Let's see here. The most common phones available with RingCentral, the ones that you can purchase with their platform or are compatible with their platform, are Polycom IP phones, Cisco IP phones, and Yealink IP phones. Pros of RingCentral voice over IP service is these guys, and this is one of the big things with these guys, they support plug and play integration with approximately 1,500 third-party integrations, which is CRMs, emails that you may have like Gmail and Outlook, Office 365, and much more. Another really big thing with RingCentral is they have a very powerful mobile app. And one of the things, and we actually did another video, which I'll mention in the tag and also in the description, RingCentral is one of the few providers, I believe it's the only legitimate mainstream provider that I am aware of at the time of this video and at the time when I did this video that I'm going to reference, that supports MMS messaging. Yes, the mobile app to message multimedia such as videos and photos back and forth. So that is a big plus. We've gotten many calls over the past with customers that we've worked with RingCentral, like in real estate, sometimes in construction or in the service industry, where they need to be able to send text messages back and forth to either the client or their boss or their contacts, showing images or picture of their work. So if you're somebody who's watching this that relies on a mobile app that has multimedia texting capability, RingCentral is the one, baby. And they're the only one that we know of at the time of this video that is able to actually do that. Most other providers are restricted to SMS only and their mobile app does not support MMS. Let's see here. Another real big pro and real big thing that distinguishes RingCentral from the bunch is RingCentral offers a free Zoom account, a free Zoom Pro level account with every single user or extension on the platform. So if you're somebody who is watching this and you rely heavily on Zoom, or you're looking for some sort of, video meeting or conferencing integration with your phone system, RingCentral is a great choice in this regard. Let's see here. RingCentral also has their signature patented thing they call RingCentral meetings. Again, to take it a step further, if you are a business that is multi-locale or you require heavy video conferencing capability with your clients, colleagues, coworkers, and more, RingCentral is the one. RingCentral meetings, which I could get you set up so you could see more about it. I'm not going to go into all the details about it. It is essentially video conferencing for business on steroids. So if you're a business that's watching this that relies very heavily on video conferencing or some sort of video collaboration between coworkers, colleagues, or clients, this RingCentral is the one, and you should probably reach out to me so I can get you a demo set up to see if it makes sense. Let's see here. Last but not least, one of the big pros about RingCentral is they have very, very powerful team collaboration tools built into their back end. To be able to take notes and communicate directly with your team and employees or staff back and forth, they have some of the best collaboration tools we've seen of the most common mainstream voice over IP providers in that regard. So a really big strong point in their regard there. Cons of RingCentral voice over IP. I've worked with RingCentral as well as all the other carriers that we're going to cover in this video. And at times I've seen some very rocky or rough onboarding scenarios. Onboarding meaning installation setup, getting people moved in the right direction and fine-tuned and accommodated to a new system. Let's see here to get into some of that. Let's see. I've had some clients that have complained and basically said that, when I needed to get things set up, I couldn't get somebody that wanted to talk to me by phone. They always are trying to constantly push me to chat by email only. While that may be okay if you've had the service for a while, me personally, if I was setting up a new system, I personally like a personal touch. I would want to talk to somebody on the phone and actually get actual help from a real person. I don't know that I would want to talk in an online chat to be able to work with advanced features on a voice over IP phone platform. Another con of RingCentral is out of the ones that we're going to cover in this list and in general for the more mainstream voice over IP providers for small business or business in general, RingCentral tends to have one of the more higher overall monthly fees, not only on their higher overall cost, not only on their monthly per user per month fee, but also on what they charge for the phones if you need hardware. They tend to be a little bit higher. Let's see here. Their backend portal, most of my clients that I've worked with and even people that decided to go another route that saw a demo of their platform, they complain and say that they feel like RingCentral has a very high learning curve on the backend platform, which it does. In short, it's not as user-friendly as some of the other folks out there that you guys have seen me talk about in some of our videos, in just some of our general videos and in last year's top 3 best voice over IP service providers of 2019. So that's another drawback there. Let's see. If you're interested in RingCentral and you're watching this video, I recommend you reach out to me. I've got lots of contacts at RingCentral, and through me, I can get you the best pricing at RingCentral better than what you would be able to get if you went direct to RingCentral yourself. So moving on to number 2, and I'm very excited about this one because this is one that we recently started working with in about, I want to say in early 2019. OnSIP. OnSIP was founded, and OnSIP is actually spelled O-N-S-I-P, OnSIP. OnSIP was founded in 2004. They're headquartered in Manhattan, New York, and they were also named one of the 50 fastest growing companies of 2017 by the Silicon Review. OnSIP employs also the typical per user per month extension structure with plans starting as low as $18.95 per extension per month. A really good price. OnSIP is mostly compatible with Polycom phones, Yealink phones, and Grandstream phones. Pros of OnSIP voice over IP service are they have, as far as we know, for providers of their caliber. I like to say of their caliber because let's be real. If you go out here and you look at some of this other stuff floating around on the internet like a Grasshopper or a Call Hippo, yeah, you can find carriers out there that are super cheap, but you get what you pay for. OnSIP stands up there with some of the big boys out there like Vonage, Nextiva, RingCentral, 8x8. The list goes on and on and on. So in comparison to other providers that cater to the same types of business of equal market, or what I like to call providers of equal caliber, OnSIP has one of the cheapest per extension per month prices that we've ever seen, coming in at $18.95 per month per user for their unlimited package, which includes everything that is typically included with your typical voice over IP phone system that charges a per month per extension type price. Let's see here. Another really big pro about OnSIP is this. OnSIP is really big on the aspect of if you're not happy with their service, you're free to go elsewhere. OnSIP is the only carrier that we know of, and I covered this in a previous video, which I'll tag in the tag above, as well as in the description below in this video and on our blog. They are the only provider that we know of at the time of this video that offers free IP phones with your service with no contract obligation. Now, I know you're wondering, what's the catch? OnSIP does require you to sign a contract. But the contract that you sign is not a contract saying that you're stuck with their service for 24 months or 36 months or whatever it may be. You have to sign a contract that basically states, okay, let's say the value of the phones that they're giving you for free with the agreement is, we'll just put a number on it and say $2,000. If you decide after OnSIP makes you sign a contract that basically says to help us recoup the cost of the phones, because these phones for us aren't free, even though we're giving them free to you, if you decide to cancel your service during this much time within a 24-month period, 2 years, we are going to back charge you on your credit card a prorated value of what those phones were. So for example, let's say that you got OnSIP and the value of your phones was $2,000, and you decided within the first 24 months, 12 months into your term, you decide to cancel service and go elsewhere, like to RingCentral or Nextiva or whoever it may be, OnSIP is going to say, okay, we're not going to do like all the other providers do and charge you for the term. We just want 50% of what the original value of those phones was, which if they gave you free phones that were valued at $2,000, which was in the original agreement, so you'll know what that is before you go into agreement, you now owe them $1,000. It's pretty fair, I think, because most providers are going to want the remainder of the term, the remainder of whatever your monthly bill would have been over 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. That's going to be a whole heck of a lot more expensive than typically what the prorated amount of the hardware that OnSIP is going to want that to recoup that cash back is going to be. They are the only provider that we know of in the industry that does this, and it's a huge, huge money saver for people that can't afford phones, don't want to pay for phones, or just feel like they want the phones included in the agreement and want a better service, a better voice over IP service. Another pro of OnSIP service is they offer something that is very, very unique called the per minute plan. This thing is a huge, huge monthly saver, monthly price cost saver, and it works something like this. You pay, I want to say it's $49.95 base fee per month, and then your company only pays, I want to say it's either, oh Lord, I don't want to steer you guys wrong here. You guys know me. I don't like to give misinformation, so bear with me here. I'm going to go to their website and find it for you. You won't be able to see what I'm seeing, but I'm still here, so just bear with me. I don't want to give you guys misinformation. So essentially for $49.95 per month, you can have 100 phones. You could have 1,000 phones in the office, but you pay $49.95 per month, and then you pay a 2.9 cents per minute on every minute incoming and outgoing in addition to that per month. That's your bill. So the question that you're probably wondering is, why would you do that? For some of you like me who are watching this, if you're somebody if you're like me and you talk a lot on the phone, it may not be worth it. But I get calls from a lot of companies that are in the public education or private education sector and in the nonprofit sector, or they just can't justify a per month, per user cost. And they think, hey, we can get the data from our phone company to see how much incoming and outgoing talk time we have. And then you can take that data to OnSIP, and OnSIP will show you, okay, this is approximately how much with a little bit of padding, for extra, what you would be paying per month on a per minute plan. For a lot of businesses that I work with, this is a huge money saver, and it saves them a lot more money than if they were to do a per month per extension thing. So this is a huge pro for a lot of businesses. Not sure if it'll work. Again, you can contact me. I work directly with OnSIP, and I can actually get the data for you from your company to present to them so that you can actually see apples to apples, which would make more sense, to be on a per minute plan or to pay per extension per month and go from there. But I can personally tell you, I've worked with a lot of businesses, especially in the private and public school sector and in the nonprofit sector, that have saved a lot of money with this plan. And by a lot, I mean hundreds of dollars a month on their phone bill for a better phone system. Let's see here. Oh, the other pro about OnSIP is they are 100% US-based support company. I know this sounds a little silly, but a lot of these phone providers and even the internet companies nowadays, a lot of them outsource stuff to the Latin Americas or India or you name it. OnSIP prides themselves and boasts that they are basically 100% US based, and I know this for a fact because I work with them regularly, and their technicians are not just some people reading from script. They are American, US based support, American citizens that also are certified on their platform and have some form of voice over IP, telecom background and technical experience. Great company with great support in that regard. Last but not least, on the pros for OnSIP, they are based on the Cassandra platform. For those of you who may not know what the Cassandra platform is, this is the same platform that Facebook and Amazon and many other big players out there on the web use. So OnSIP boasts that they have 100% uptime, and they are the only voice over IP provider that I know of, and they boast about this, that has rights and access to use the Cassandra platform. So great uptime in that regard. If you're a company, if you are a business or a company that is watching this, and uptime is a big concern or factor for your business. So let's see here. Cons of OnSIP. The only con that I could think of in working with OnSIP over the past year on a bunch of accounts is the per minute plan. While we think it's a great plan and it saves a lot of people a lot of money, if the shoe fits, you cannot get the free phones from OnSIP on the per minute plan. I mean, come on. That's because this plan tends to come in so much cheaper than what a lot of companies, depending on their scenario, would pay for the per extension per month. It just doesn't make any sense. OnSIP can't recoup the cost of the phones because basically you're getting their platform at such a cheap rate, they literally cannot get the money back on the phones. So you do have to buy your phones outright if you want to go on that platform. But you can decide, do you want to buy those phones from OnSIP directly, or do you want to get them from a third party? They don't care if you get them from a third party like VOIP Supply or Amazon or wherever you decide you want to get your phones from. But just understand, if you do the per minute plan, you're on your own as far as the phones. You can't qualify to get the free phones with OnSIP. And that's because they just don't make a lot of money off that per minute plan, which is in your favor if you're trying to save money. Okay, and it is time for number one. For those of you who frequent my channel, you already know who number one is for the number one best voice over IP service provider for small business. It is Vonage Business. Let's jump right into this, and I'm going to explain to you why for year number 2 that we've been doing these videos, Vonage Business is back in the number one spot. So, Vonage Business was founded in 2001. They're headquartered in Homedale, New Jersey. Pricing with Vonage Business is based on the per month per user pricing structure, just like the rest that I mentioned earlier in this video. Prices typically start with Vonage Business as low as $19.99 per month per extension. The most common compatible voice over IP phones with Vonage Business are Polycom, Yealink, and Panasonic. Let's see here. The pros of Vonage Business voice over IP service. Pro number 1, they are the oldest player in the game, and they're a spinoff from the old company that everybody knows, a household name that's even been in the Super Bowl commercials in the past, Vonage. So they basically tend to have some of the most cutting edge platform features and function, and they tend to also be the first player that has it. Why? because they're the most mature in the industry. They've got cutting edge technology, and they also have some of the deepest pockets in the industry. So they have the access to be able to gain access to insights, research, and development, as well as marketing and the rollout ability for some of the newest features before all of the other guys are able to even see it or know that it exists. One of the other reasons that we chose Vonage Business as number one, and it's also a pro with Vonage Business, is we have found that Vonage Business has the best all-around pricing and plans for the average business of all sizes and industries. What does that mean? It means quite literally for every 10 businesses that contacts me week in, week out, day in, day out, month in, month out, I don't mind telling you guys that over 50% of the majority of businesses that call me looking for phone service, when we look at all of the different companies that fit their small business avatar and budget, Vonage Business ends up being almost the best all-arounder for them, because they tend to basically be like an all-inclusive package that comes at a very fair price compared to their competitors. They have really good ways of being able to throw phones, or bake phones, as I like to say, into the plan, so that customers don't have to spend a bunch of money up front to get hardware. They tend to just be a really good all-arounder, or one shoe kind of fits all sizes for the average small business. Another reason why I chose them as number one, and another pro for these guys, is they have, and I've seen them all, one of the best mobile apps out there in the industry as far as the capabilities of what it can do, and just the range of options and features that one can have in the power of their hands. More importantly, their mobile app is free for every user on the platform with accounts. And it is just a powerful, powerful mobile app that I can't speak highly enough about, that I actually use personally, and I wouldn't give it up for anything, especially being someone that has seen every other carrier's mobile apps in action as well, and has access to other mobile apps. Let's see here. Another pro that I wanted to throw out there about Vonage Business is every single account with Vonage Business includes a free Amazon Chime account. So what is Amazon Chime? Amazon Chime is basically a video conferencing and meeting conference bridge platform that is owned and operated by Amazon Chime. This goes back to my other pro where I said Vonage is one of the most innovative players in the game. Vonage Business has an actual partnership with Amazon to basically allow free accounts, free Amazon Chime accounts with everybody. So when I do product demos or when I do conferences with customers and things like that, I use Amazon Chime. Amazon Chime is essentially like Zoom on steroids, is the best way that I could put it. But rather than pay for Zoom Pro or something like that, you could essentially just basically have an Amazon, your free Amazon Chime account that comes with your Vonage Business account. You could use with that. So let's see here. Another pro, Vonage Business has award-winning customer support. I work with their customer support and their technical support team to support my clients all day long. And I can honestly tell you guys, they have some of the most knowledgeable, most friendliest, and most reliable customer service and support out there that I have personally seen. And it has consistently won awards in the tech field for years. Another pro that I want to throw out there is accounts that have $200 or more monthly recurring cost, which at the time of this video is approximately, depending on how you've been set up, that is approximately maybe close to 10 phones. 8 to 10 phones will put you at somewhere, 8 to 10 extensions or users will put you at somewhere around the $200 a month mark before taxes. What you get if you decide to switch to Vonage Business, you get something called Install Team. What Install Team is this team that calls you by phone and email, and they say, hey, Mr. Hancock or Mrs. Sally, how would you like the phones to ring when somebody calls in? How would you like to be set up? Do you have any phone numbers that needed to be ported in from a previous carrier or carriers? And they take all of this off of your plate and configure the entire system. All you need to do is relay information to them, and they do everything for you. The next pro, which is a spinoff of this one, of Install Team, is accounts that are much larger. I want to say 30 to 40 to 50 extensions and higher, which I work with those all of the time, that are approximately $1,000 in monthly recurring phone bill costs before taxes and up, get what is called white glove service. white glove service includes a project manager that you have access to for 60 to 90 days that handles your entire project, install, number porting, everything. It is literally basically red carpet service handled by professionals that basically get to know your company and find out more about your call flow and take the transition to Vonage's platform completely off your hands and handle everything. It is seamless support, installation, and implementation at the hands of Vonage Business. But I have worked with both white glove support and Vonage's install team, and I can honestly tell you guys, it is absolutely incredible what they do. And I was going to say it's worth every penny, but it's free included with your service. So this is one thing that makes Vonage shine, because a lot of providers out there, once you sign the contract, they kind of push you out into the deep end and expect you to set all this stuff up yourself. And that's just not the way it is. With both of these options that I mentioned, install team and white glove support, you also do get access to folks that will help you set up schedules directly with Vonage Business to train your staff on the new platforms, because they understand that you need to know how to use this stuff. You need to actually know how to implement this stuff above and beyond the cost savings and the fact that it's got all these features and frills. So let's see here. Cons of Vonage Business. I don't mind saying this. Some of their customer service, their basic customer service and support, is split between the United States and Costa Rica. I have personally worked with both. While it doesn't bother me, because I've been to Costa Rica before and I also speak fluent Spanish, I'm not implying that the guys and gals in Costa Rica will speak Spanish to you on the phone. Of course not. They're going to speak English with you, but I can deal with the accent barrier because I speak fluent Spanish. But some people can't. So for those of you who might, not have issues with the language barrier, I don't know, it may bother you, but I can personally tell you, in working with both, the good news is, while you've got Americans on one side in the United States and then Latin Americans in Costa Rica that you might work with in tandem on the lower level customer service stuff, like, hey, can you cut on call forwarding for me or something like that? Not the heavy stuff. They are well trained. Even though you might have some issues with the accent barrier, they are very well trained. So rest assured that won't be an issue. Let's see here. That was really the only con that I could come up with for Vonage Business. Honestly, you guys, if you frequented my channel, you know I've chosen them as number one because they're the best all-arounder. In conclusion, to do a quick summary of the three, RingCentral is really, really good for those who need heavy third-party app integration or rely heavily on video meetings or video conferences between their staff, contacts, colleagues, or clients. But the pricing can be a little bit high with RingCentral, and the onboarding process sometimes can be kind of rocky, at least in scenarios that I've seen and worked with. OnSIP has the lowest monthly price per user per month that I have personally ever seen in the market of voice over IP service providers of like caliber, which is important to mention, because please don't call me up and say, oh, Grasshopper's cheaper. I'm sorry, Grasshopper, Call Hippo, all those other things that are named after safari animals and insects, they are not on the same caliber as OnSIP. They have the lowest price that we are aware of on the market per month per extension of like caliber service providers. And they also have certified, trained, all-American-based voice over IP support. They also have the per minute thing that I said is a huge, huge cost saver for people that have lots of phones. You might have an office that's got 20 to 50 or more phones, but you don't have a lot of talk time. You don't use the phones as much as somebody who may have a lot of call volume. Their per minute plan is a huge time saver, but the con to the per minute plan is you got to buy your phones outright. And so you're going to have a little bit of upfront cost on hardware. And then finally, Vonage Business, in summary, is the best all-arounder that we work with for the average small business, regardless of size, regardless of industry. They tend to be the best all-arounder, one shoe size fits all that we work with. And they have ways of basically tailoring their platform and their pricing to pretty much kind of just fit any type of business, that is looking for any type of solution and may be on a shoestring budget or may have a bigger pocketbook. They have excellent customer service and support, award-winning customer service and support, have great ways of including the phones into the plan so that you have almost no hardware cost up front. But sometimes you may get somebody with their customer service that's in Costa Rica, which for some people may be frustrating, even though it doesn't really bother me. So anyways, that concludes the top 3 best voice over IP service providers of 2020. If you're watching this video, I represent all 3 of these carriers. I can get you better pricing than if you went direct to these carriers yourself. Also, I have contacts at every single one of these carriers. So if you're interested in daring and comparing and seeing what prices from one or more of these carriers looks like for your own comparison, or would like to see an actual live demo and talk to the pros and get questions answered to see if one or more of these platforms even fits for your business, call or email me. Again, my service is free. I'm paid by the service providers. Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet in the United States. Subscribe to our channel, and I'll catch you guys again in the next video.